Hi everybody, good evening. I have this big grind on my face because I was just telling Ashley, we have a new soundtrack for our intro. I like the bass, Denzel. I hadn't had it before, so I like that. But good evening, everyone. Welcome to Africa Thrive Live. Come on in. Those watching us on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook. We can see you guys coming in. As you come in, say hello in the comments and then I can give you a shout out. My name is Naomi Kirungu. I'll be your host today. I am based here in quite chilly Nairobi in Kenya. And really excited about today's show and the surprises that we have lined up for you guys. Yeah. So come on in, drop a line on the comments, introduce yourself and your business, tell us where you're tuned in from, and we'll get to read those and give you a shout. Yeah. So it's a new month. December is here. And we are approaching the end of 2021. And today being our last show this year, we are going to recap all our previous episodes, as you might have seen in the posters. So in case you missed any of our shows this year, and in case this is your very first time on Africa Thrive Live, today you'll get a glimpse of all the discussions we've had this year. So it's almost like you're not missing anything. Yeah. So really excited and welcome to the show. And as you say hello in the chat, I'd love to read some of your comments and also your sort of highlights for the shows that you've happened to watch this year, the previous sessions that you've joined us. Which has been your most memorable, or what memorable quote do you have that you had? Please put it in the comments and we'll be able to read them. Yeah. So I can see we have Mbogani from South Africa. Welcome to the show. They are watching on YouTube. We have Patrick from Dar es Salaam. Patrick Henry, you're welcome, Patrick. We have Wakine. Wakine, it's nice to see you again. Welcome to the show. Really excited about what's going to happen today. So keep your comments coming. I'm going to read them, and also remember, what has your highlight? If you've ever caught a glimpse of Africa Thrive Live, what's a highlight or a memorable thing that you remember, and put that on the chat. And as you do that and continue to introduce yourselves, allow me to introduce AMI to those who might be watching us for the very first time. AMI is actually an abbreviation, as you might have figured. It's an abbreviation for the African Management Institute, and we are a Pan-African organization that exists to enable ambitious entrepreneurs and businesses like yourselves to thrive through practical tools and training. So let's watch this quick video that highlights what we do at AMI. Great. So if you're not part of our community of entrepreneurs, join Thrive today for relevant resources to support your businesses and to get the next notification of when we go live on Africa Thrive Live. So details are on your screen on how you can be able to join Thrive. So let me just read some of the comments that have come in. We have Mercy Minor. Mercy Minor, she's glad to be here. She's watching on LinkedIn. She's a teacher of English by profession and entrepreneur in the homeschooling space. That's amazing. We're based in Nairobi. Two Text Tuition and Homeschooling Center. You can check them out and check their website and connect with Mercy on LinkedIn. We have Mike Kuye, who's joining us from Tanzania. And we have, oh my goodness, I can't believe now she's an part of our audience. We have Irene, who co-hosted the last show with me. Thank you, Irene, for joining. We have Patrice Bahati. Patrice from Burundi. Amazing. Let me try read that French. Je vous sais, well, I think he's saying, I just know je vous is I am. Let me not exhibit my French illiteracy. But thank you for joining, Patrice. I think I can figure you're telling us from where you are from Burundi, and it's nice to have you here. We have Doris from Zimbabwe. Oh my goodness, I'm just amazed by the whole Pan-African reach that is here. We have people from Zimbabwe, also from Mozambique. Sheila, you're welcome. Oh, and we have another person who's been on this show, former colleague Caroline Dungu. Thank you for joining, Caroline, and joining us from LinkedIn. It's so amazing to have all of you, as well as Celeste. Keep your comments coming, and I'll keep reading them. And oh yeah, Celeste is trying to translate. I am sending you greetings from a province of Makamba in Burundi. Thanks, Celeste, for that translation. She's translating what Patrice wrote. So we actually decided, being our last show this year, to speaking of Thrive community, we decided to invite some people from the Thrive community to share how their year has been, and some people from the audience. So this is quite random. Cross your fingers with me that it will work as well as we planned it. So we invited people from the audience to just share their experiences and also how their journey has been through this year, and how they have found Thrive, the community. So to have this conversation, I'm joined by Joseph. Joseph is based in Nigeria. Joseph is the founder of Royal Shoe Hub. Now, Joseph is an interesting story because he is a mechanical engineer by training, and he ran a mechanical engineering business that was shut down due to COVID. And when that happened, he started a shoemaking business. And we'll get to hear just a bit from Joseph. And I'm also joined by Wakil. Wakil is based in Mauritius. So Wakil founded AC Resilience. It's a consultancy business, and he's been through, he's a member of Thrive and has been through various AMI programs. So help me welcome Wakil and Joseph, and cross your fingers with me that they'll be able to join us. Otherwise, just you get ready. We might pick on you. Welcome, Joseph.
Thank you, Naomi. Nice to hear from you.
Yes, and welcome to Africa Thrive Live. Hi, Wakil. We can see you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. Welcome to the show. We are really, really delighted that you are able to join us. So I read a bit of your bios, but before we go into more details, maybe you can tell me, what's your superpower, Joseph? Like, if you had to choose a superpower, what would it be?
All right, so I have a lot of superpowers, but let me be specific. Major one, it has to do with managerial ability. That is one of my major superpower. In order to manage a team, it has been a good one for me so that I can be on top of my business.
Wow. So if we call your team, you win the Best Boss of the Year award.
Yes, definitely.
Cool. And for you, Akil, what's your
Uh,
superpower?
well, for me, I would say that um, I am someone which is adaptable to the situation. So, if, for example, if you look at the way business was, yeah. So, whenever the situation arises, I try to adapt myself and revamp and reorganize myself in a way that I'm able to be what we say resilience in whatever I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. So if a curveball was thrown or there was I don't know, something other than COVID happened, Wakil would have the superpower of resilience. Yeah. It's so nice to have you both. Uh, for you, Joseph, what's one thing that inspires you? So from your story in terms of you closed your business because of COVID and you started a new business. What's one thing that inspires you and sort of keeps you going as an entrepreneur? Because you seem to not have lost hope. You seem very charismatic still and hopeful. What keeps you going?
All right, so like what my colleague mentioned, Waki, one of key factor, attribute that keeps me going as an entrepreneur is resilience. Despite difficulties that I face, challenges along the line that I started my business, I never give up. I'm always determined, always to make sure that I get the post. Sometimes I may fail. I don't want to allow negative feelings or thoughts to make me fail down. So I keep on going with determination and be resilient in doing what I want to do so that I can get it rightly. So that is one of the attributes that actually keep me going as an entrepreneur.
I love that. I love that. Wakil, what does SA Resilience do? What do you do?
Well, we are in different sectors. So our prime thing is, if you look at our tagline is simple: keep you in business. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever we are doing and whatever services that we provide to our end customers, well, we don't say customers in our jargon here in our company. We say partners. So to our partners is to keep you in business through what we call operational excellence and being resilience.
Mm.
So whatever services that we are providing meet to to this mission, we can say.
Okay.
And so based on that, so we have five services. The first one, it is about IT managed services. So we want to take the burdens out from entrepreneur or people, companies, instead of them focusing on services or on administrative tasks. Why not outsource it so that we can do it for you instead of you investing in your people or in your time for you to be able to do that? Because we firmly believe one thing is, as an entrepreneur, for example, Joseph, his main goal is to grow his business and to get more market share. So if he's focusing now, he's focusing his time in IT, for example, it's a waste of time for him because at the same time, he can spend much more time on the market to be able to grow his business. So we talk about IT managed services. The second thing that we do is business excellence. So it is more about process improvement, lean management. What we do is we try to eliminate fat in a process to make you much more leaner and much more efficient in the market. The third one is what we call a business continuity plan. So this is completely aligned with being resilient. So we have seen, for example, in COVID, a lot of company has gone out of the market. Big organizations. Why? Because they were not prepared for any type of eventualities. So it is what we try to provide. And me myself, I got the opportunity to travel across Africa in more than 21 countries to be able to implement business continuity plan for organizations, factories, warehousing, offices. So you just name it, yeah. So and we have seen that when you are well prepared, so it's easy for you to face any type of crisis of issues, we can say. Like I used to say in some of my training is, think about an insurance, a car insurance. We may never need to use it in our lifetime, but the day that we need it, we are happy to have it. It's the same thing for business
Mm-hmm.
continuity. The fourth one, I will go quickly, is about ISO certifications. So this is mainly related to individuals of our organization. We have seen that nowadays, due to COVID specifically, a lot of people have lost their job, or a lot of companies have what we say in terms of being much more credible in their brand. That's what we are talking about ISO certification. So this help individuals to get themselves ISO certified to be able to revamp their career. And the last services and another services that we provide is ISO certification. So ISO-ified companies for them to get different ISO certification. This of course completely
Mm-hmm.
aligned with our vision, with our mission, pardon, which is about keep you in business through operational efficiency and resilience. So by being ISO certified, your resilience, how? One, you know that your process is bulletproof because we do a full audit on your process for you to be able to get the certification. Second, it is a brand building because showing credibility on the market is very important. And when you have ISO certification from international standards, so you're able to show to people that you're a company which is not which is a non-nonsense company, meaning that you make show that your quality is up to the standards, and thus creating your business and become resilient in the market. So this is
Okay.
what we do in a nutshell.
Okay. And
Uh,
and just to put it on a practical part, Wakil, what's just one key trait or skill that you think, because you've worked with so many businesses, what's one key trait you think every entrepreneur needs to have? Just one.
like our friend Joseph well said, is being resilient. It's something which is very important, and be able to re-question yourself. You know, one
Mm-hmm.
thing that I have learned is you have a vision. We all have a vision, a personal vision, what we want to achieve in our life. Yeah. So whatever we are doing, it is what we call what I call drivers. Meaning, so what?
Sorry,
1 second, please.
Wakil seems to have
Sorry.
gotten
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm
something.
back. I'm back. What I was
Okay.
saying is we all have a vision in our personal life, and we need to have drivers to be able to drive it. So whatever drivers that we have to be able to achieve to our destination, this is what is important about destinations, not the means, not the
Mm-hmm.
drivers. So for an
Okay.
organization to be need to be resilient and be able to adapt to situations. Even though, for example, me when I started in 2016, I was doing only IT, and now I'm doing 5 services. Why? Because I have to adapt
Yeah.
myself to be able to achieve my goals. So these are the drivers. The services I'm doing are the drivers for me to achieve the goals. This is what I think
Mm.
all entrepreneurs should have to be re-question for yourself or what you're doing and see what other opportunities outside and grab the opportunities, even though it is not in your comfort zone, it is outside your comfort zone. Try to leverage on these.
Yeah, thanks for that, Wakil. And clearly, Wakil is a trainer. He went on and on and on. But
I'm
for you,
sorry.
Joseph, what? No, it's fine. Whatever you're saying is very practical. For you, Joseph, what has stood out for you in the Thrive community in the recent past?
Wow. The Strive community,
No,
man,
that.
it is something marvelous, I can say. What struck me is first and foremost is the brotherhood in the family. We have been able to create a type of family where everybody try to help each other in best of his capabilities or what he's doing. And this is one of the thing with which I like to say is if we Africans doesn't help ourselves, nobody will come to help us. And I have seen the Strive community that Africans love to help Africans. And it is our biggest, I think, our biggest strength. And it is the thing which has amazed me, even though that before, because I have spent more than 9 years in Kenya, I know how the African community is, but through the Strive, being able to communicate with Rwanda, Zambia, so you just name the countries, fantastic, fantastic, the
Yeah.
brotherhood.
Thank you, Wakil. Joseph, sorry you were interrupted. I think Wakil's internet was shaky. For you, what has stood out for you?
Okay, for the community in AMI, it has been a nice one. Uh, there's this a saying that the day you stop learning, that is the day that you are planning your death. So for AMI and the community has been a source of information for me, knowing the current trend about entrepreneurship, and how to able to go about my business. So it has been a very, very informative for me. And the community has equally helped me as an entrepreneur also to equally to expand. It also gives me opportunity for people to know about my brand. I recall some time ago where my information was posted on the page in Facebook, on Instagram, and all that. That gave me a great opportunity and a joy. People coming to know about my business all over Africa and wide. So that's good. That's a key start for me. So without this community, I will not have this opportunity. So the community has actually been helpful for me in order to grow my brand. So I would
Yeah.
like to use this opportunity to say thank you to AMI for the opportunity given to me, and also looking for more other opportunities where my business will be well known globally.
Yeah, thank you, Joseph. And we are rooting for you. And thank you for working with us this whole year. And it's really, really glad that I was able to bring one of our audience people to the show. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Naomi.
Yeah. So we do hope that we can see more of you in future episodes. So if you're interested to be part of the show next time, just write on the chat and someone will get your details and will be able to be in touch. And if you're not yet part of the Thrive community, do join us. Yeah. So this show is quite interesting because we're trying to put everything that we did this whole year into like almost 40 minutes. And when we were planning, you only get to see me, but there's a whole team behind the scenes, Ashley, Ivy, Denzel, who make all this possible. So when we were planning this show, we thought that it will be very fitting to do a quick rundown of interesting things that have happened in the world and how they've impacted us as entrepreneurs in Africa. So we put together a list of 4 things, and I'm very curious as we walk through them to hear what you think about them. So, to our opinion, these are things that we feel have impacted how we do business and will impact us even in the future. So write your comments on the chat, and also remember, if you have highlights from the beginning of the year, do write those as well. Yeah, because we'd really, really want to bring your comments to this conversation. So these are the 4 things we thought, wow, this will impact us now and even in the future. So of course we have to talk about COVID-19 and the global rollout of vaccinations. You know, when we ended 2020, there were so many global restrictions and lockdown, and then when we began 2021, there was this hope that the world will return to some sort of normal because of the emerging vaccines. And there's been so many vaccination drives, and they've made it possible for industries that were paralyzed, yeah, to open up. Things like travel were restored. But because of you've had it a lot, the vaccine inequality that we are also familiar with, there have been variants like now the one we're experiencing now of Omicron, etc. So we are still unsure about how the future is going to look like. But when we're talking about this, there's a story that we came across that really rekindled and rekindled our hope. And it's the story, I don't know if you guys have heard it. It's a story of a South African startup that's called Afrigen. So Afrigen is actually a business, a startup in South Africa, and they were hired by the WHO to crack the code for the COVID vaccine after one manufacturer, I won't name the name of that manufacturer, refused to share the recipe. So they were contracted by WHO, and Afrigen specializes in the development of veterinarian vaccinations. However, they were given a shot to do this to see how we can begin to manufacture vaccines for ourselves within Africa and find, like Wakil said, solutions for ourselves. So I found that this story gave me a lot of hope because Afrigen is a startup, yeah, like many of us, many of the entrepreneurs listening, and we've started a business with this hope. And just like many of us tuned in today, I think that this story just to me demonstrated how African SMEs have the potential to be at the center stage of the world and our continent's development, and to be the solution to our problems. So whoever knows Afrigen, whoever works for Afrigen and could be listening, we are really rooting for you and proud to hear this positive story around vaccine inequality. Yeah. So that's one. The next thing, let me just wanted to pull up the next image. So our next one, we have to talk about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. We have to talk about it. It's been a key discussion. If you've been listening to the African Union, this has been a conversation that has been there for years, I think even before some of us were born. But since a long time, we've talked about how can Africa do trade within itself. And the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, I feel like, is a manifestation of this conversation that is now coming to fruition. And it officially opened in January 2021. So far, 44 African countries have signed the treaty. And I feel like once it's fully implemented, this will be the world's largest trade area, because we are many in Africa. 1.3 billion would be participating. So it's designed to help us do trade amongst ourselves, to help us do trade within the global scale. I feel like it's an opportunity that even at our own local level as SMEs, connect with a chamber of commerce near you or a national business association in your country, for you to see how you can take up advantage of this opportunity if your country has signed the treaty. So let's hope it will move on and be fully implemented soon. So yeah, that's our second story. The third one is something that digitization was already happening, and then COVID happened, and leveraging technology moved from it's a good to have to it's a must have. Yeah, we found interesting stories from across Africa, and these stories particularly were about governments leveraging technology. Who would think that government would be at the forefront of leveraging technology this year? So like, for instance, in Uganda, there was this story we saw about how Uganda has transformed its milk production sector, making it the only East African country to be self-sufficient in milk production. And they've done this by leveraging technology. So they're using technology to detect aflatoxins in the animal feeds that are being sold to farmers. And they've created refrigeration units across the country, and they're powering these refrigeration units using manure from those farms, from those dairy farms. So that was so interesting. And in Kenya, we know that smartphone penetration is very, very high in Kenya. And we found a story of the county government of Nakuru transforming the lives of farmers by giving them access to loans and resources through their smartphones. And this was championed by the county government. And also in Ghana, they've managed to steadily increase rice production by over 10% this year, by just because there was a rice shortage, and modernizing and rehabilitating the irrigation systems. So I feel like the fact that governments are now embracing and spearheading technology and leveraging digital, that will impact how we do business in the future. And finally, climate change. Yeah, I'll just pause there and let's talk about climate change, because if you are of the school of thought that climate change is something that is far off, it's in the future, then the volatile weather patterns that I'm sure you're experiencing in your country and we're experiencing globally should change your mind and make you think. This climate change is here with us, and just the inability to just correctly predict our weather patterns is really affecting farmers, not just in Africa but worldwide. And there's extremely poor harvests. And we were looking at the stories that emerged during the recent COP26 session that was held in Glasgow, and all these nations came together to a consensus to support developing countries who are worst hit by climate change, yet they contribute to the negative effects the least. So I think the story here for me and for us was businesses and entrepreneurs who find solutions around energy, clean energy access, things that affect our climate, or things that are they are sort of directed by climate change, like clean energy and all that. Businesses that are able to steer in that direction have the ability to access a lot of resources that are now available. There is funding, there's learning resources, there's so much now available. And if you can begin as an entrepreneur to think of how you can tackle this problem, I feel like there's a lot, there's an opportunity there, if not just now, but for the future. So that's it in terms of what we picked out that came out this whole year that stood out for us. And I'm keen to hear from you guys what you think. What's one thing that stood out for you this year, either in the show or just in the global or African scene? And just write that on the comment, and we will read them out. Yeah. So I just want to give a shout out to a few people who've joined us, especially after I gave them a shout out of their country. We have Uganda, we have Youth Initiative Programs Uganda, Caleb from Uganda. Thanks for joining. And we have Amasiko Abia from Uganda. You're all welcome. We have Godifried. I'll ask. I like how we have now. I think we need to have French Africa Thrive Lives, but Celeste will help me translate that. We have someone who speaks French in the audience. So thank you all for your comments, and keep them coming. Yeah. Great. So now we sort of want to shift gears and move to the main meat and flesh of today. So while all we've talked about today has been in the global front or the African front, we have continued to have candid conversations with entrepreneurs throughout the year here on Africa Thrive Live. So like I mentioned at the very beginning, I'm very keen to hear your highlights from Africa Thrive Live. So do share them on the comments. But when we're thinking of the show, and we've had over 20 guests who've joined the show, it was really hard to come across, okay, what do we put here? What do we not put here? There's just so much wisdom that they shared, and we put together a couple of highlights or things that we feel these are our 2021 lessons from our entrepreneurs. So I hope you can take a notepad and write this down with me, because we sort of picked 5 lessons that the entrepreneurs said, and we feel like these are our sort of business lessons for 2021. So the first one is build a brand, be known for something you do well, and find a way to share that story with both your team and your customers, because both your team and your customers connect with your story. Yeah, people buy people. So that was a big lesson for us. Second one is don't be stuck to an idea or a way of thinking or doing. Evolve, because the world is constantly evolving. The third one is be an eternal student. That's what Tinashe said. Learn from the content out there, from mentors and from your team. And then fourth, we have focus on your customer, not just sales. Bet said, I found this very interesting. Bet said that the most important metric in his business that he tracks is how happy are his customers and how much are they referring his product and service to others. That's his most biggest metric. I found that very interesting. Focus on the customer, not just sales. And 5, build the right team. Find those who complement your weakness with who complement your weakness, and together you can build a strong team. So let's watch this quick video that we put together with some of these highlights.
there's twofold that you kind of have to partake in a business. One, you're an entrepreneur first, then two, you're a manager, and those things are very two different elements. The entrepreneur looks at opportunities that are in front of them, an opportunity that would lead the business into, hopefully, into more profit. It's an investment opportunity, right? And the manager is the one that implements and tries to get this crazy guy's idea and really runs with it, right? But sometimes as entrepreneurs, we get stuck and married to our idea and we don't evolve, and that's one of the fundamental funerals for SMEs. Like we're so stuck to this one business, this one way of running our businesses that we don't want to change or evolve.
Invest in yourself in knowledge, invest in yourself in having, people that can mentor you. And by mentoring, I don't mean physical mentors. I mean, learning people's stories, following people's stories, seeing how they do things, trying to see, how do they do it? Because, there are people who've done it before. So it doesn't have to be so hard for you to carry, don't always have to start from scratch. You can start from where another person has gone in order to make it easy for yourself. And the best thing for you to do is to equip yourself to the language of business, so that one, you're not taken advantage of, two, you are not swindled in the process, and you are not naive to think that people will be for you all the time.
What is the next big thing? So I'm constantly looking for opportunities. And when I identify and see opportunity, I pull my mind, my resources, so that I can tap into that opportunity.
We started concentrating on efficiency in terms of, we're not looking at sales. How many orders have we delivered? And in those orders we've delivered, how many complaints have we got? And how many clients are sure going to come back? So this helped us because it helped drive our repeat customer rate to almost 50-something%, which just made it better for us and made sure we are utilizing the basket of customers we've had all our 10 years. Consistently, they're coming back.
The most important thing for consumers to buy from you is your story. People don't buy the product. People buy the story around your brand, how it makes them feel, how they respond to it. They don't come to a restaurant to feed. They come to a restaurant because it makes them, maybe it's Instagram worthy. They come there and the tables and the kids and the doors and the service is extraordinary and they're happy to share.
The number one investment you should do is investing in people. Find the right people to hire. I don't think it's necessary to find department, but look at your strength and look at your weakness, and then see where you can build the team around that so that they can be more complementary. The second thing is adaptation. You created your business before the pandemic, and you had this big vision and big mission of everything you want to do. But then, here's the pandemic, right? Everything has changed. We are going to work from home. Social distancing, people cannot come to your restaurant. You really have to understand how best can you adapt from your business. Do you do home delivery? Do you create extra services that you never used to provide before? This one is really different depending on the business.
Yeah, so those were just some of our top highlights. And can I call it a thread that we picked up? So we picked up two things that we feel, again, will affect how we do business now and in the future. And something almost all our guests touched on was mental and emotional wellness for SMEs. I know this has been something that hasn't been sort of championed in the past, or it's not sort of been brought in the forefront, tackling things like failure or just the emotional turmoil that running a business does for you, for your family, for those around you. And it's something that really almost all our guests touched on. And I'm wondering, how do you cope mentally and emotionally now that there's sort of no more shame to things like mental health? And I am so thankful that mental and emotional wellness is becoming something that we are embracing as entrepreneurs, we are acknowledging, and we are dealing with. Yeah. So let's watch this.
There's a fear of failure, and you need to accept failure as part and process of the entrepreneurship journey. As an African and as Africans, we don't really take losses or bad news properly. We're geared and we're groomed to make sure you're always succeeding and you're an A-star student. But in entrepreneurship, the world teaches you that anything goes, and some days it's good and some days it's terrible. And you just have to pick yourself up, learn, and ensure you don't repeat the mistakes. And also, we need to spend more time looking after our mental health as entrepreneurs. That is something that is understated in so many different ways and so many different places. So one great advice I'd give to my colleagues here is invest in your mental health, because if you're all right, your business is better and the people around you have a better version of you.
Entrepreneurship in general is romanticized, but most of the times we do not talk about the things that happen really in the background. So I have learned to create a routine for myself, how to stay sane, and it's either through a walk or a jog with my dog, or picking up flowers. I love flowers. You can see flowers behind me.
Going back to that point about storytelling, convincing people to join your team, convincing entrepreneurs to back you. Optimism and pessimism are equally contagious. And unfortunately, it really starts with you. And so as an entrepreneur, you have a very unfair burden to be the source of optimism for your team. And if you sort of let that pessimism spread, it can be very hard to contain.
From my side, it's you have to build your support tribe. I've been very careful about, and my support tribe includes specific family members, peers, and obviously mentors, advisors that have guided me. So I think the combination of that, when the going gets tough, the reality is no one's an island. We all need each other, to kind of move ahead and get through tough times. And that's exactly what happened during the pandemic. The first people I called was my support tribe. And you just need that, I wanted to say figurative shoulder to cry on, but I think in some cases it was literal during this pandemic. So I think that's critical, and everyone knows who their support tribe is.
Wow. Thanks for your comment, Mark Muridi on LinkedIn. He says, I really like Fred's comment. Consumers buy stories. For entrepreneurs working around agri sector and producing commodities, stories behind a product and traceability are key for sustainability. I really agree with that story. Really, it's almost like the whole story of farm to fork, and you sort of know where your food comes from. So that's a good tip for those in agri. Yeah. So back to mental and emotional health, I hope that really encourages you, even as we go into the new year, to remember to, like Munyutu said, if you're okay, if you take care of yourself, the business is okay. And if you're not, it affects the business as well. So let's get those coping mechanisms and tips. And of course, we can't have entrepreneurship conversations without talking about finance, without talking about funding and access to finance and the do's and the don'ts. And that was also such a trend that we picked up from the conversations we had this year. We talked about when do you get access to finance? When should you not? When should you just grow organically? How did these particular businesses get access to their funding? We talked about the do's and the don'ts. So let's watch this.
Build as if you're going to sell your business. So everything you do, think about it as if you're going to sell it one day. So we thought about marketing, we thought about IP. So as we're building our business, because our idea at that time was that we wanted to go to different markets and we wanted to do our program in different markets.
One straight equation, what I can tell you is that it'll take longer than you think for many times for your business to get traction. So make sure you have a plan. And then even when it comes to raising capital, I can tell you some nightmare stories about mistakes I made raising capital, checks I wish I'd never taken. Even when you get there, it's like snakes and ladders. Can't describe it to you. They're really, progression is not always what it seems.
With VC investors, pretty broadly, but actually a combination of both institutional funds and angel investors. But to Ivan's point, I think we quickly realized that not all money is good money. Not all money is the right money. So some folks are, have different intentions and objectives with their checks, while others, are truly, backing your vision. And I think that those are the folks you're looking for. More than anything, I'd rather take $10,000 from someone that really believes in us than take $100,000 from someone that's trying to achieve a different objective as far as enabling our vision's concerned.
The first thing you need to do is identify if this lead or if this person you're trying to raise money from is a warm or a cold lead, right? If they're a warm lead, it makes it much easier. If they're a cold lead, which means that simply you've never met them before, then it makes it a little harder, and you need to be really prepped and have all the information in place. The second thing is please go ahead and search for something called a fundraising funnel. What a fundraising funnel does is that it provides you with, it's a simple template sheet that allows you to know how many people should you reach out to, in what amounts, that will lead you to your goal. So you'll have a goal, say, of $1 million, and then the general fundraising kind of statistic is 4-1. So out of your 4 proposals, perhaps only 1 will get funded.
Having worked with entrepreneurs, and I continue to work with entrepreneurs, I think the issue of access to funding and financing is something that a lot of entrepreneurs are, I don't say desperate for, but it's something that you really need for your business. And that conversation with Tinashe simply changed my mind and my outlook on finance, and where he boldly said that not all money is good money, and what are the intentions of this check and from the person giving it to you. So I think it almost encouraged me to encourage other entrepreneurs, even with those checks from your bank, from your finances, always take a step back. And he said, take money that comes from people who believe in you. And I know that's easier said than done, because your business does need the funding. But I really like how that was sort of like a paradigm shift for me and many many of those who watched that conversation. Doris on YouTube is saying, I agree with Tinashe. Not all money is good money, and COVID showed us to some extent that businesses had a strong ethical culture, fared better, and were more resilient. That's very, very well said, Doris. And if you get time, go and listen to that part of the conversation, that full conversation where you talked about just different ways of accessing finance, and leveraging on things like your customer track record, your own personal track record as an entrepreneur, and so many things that they got to talk about. So in case you missed any of those shows, the good thing is that they're all on YouTube. So just go to the African Management Institute YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch all those previous episodes. Especially if one really stood out for you, you'll be able to see that there. And we'll continue to have these conversations even next year. We have them once a month, usually the third Thursday of the month. So our next show is going to be in January. I don't know if Ashley has a poster for that for you to have a look. Yeah, so it's gonna be on January 20th. That should be 2022. And it's the same time as you're watching this, 8 p.m. East Africa time, 7 p.m. South and Central, 6 p.m. West Africa time. Yeah, so join us next time for Africa Thrive Live as we continue to have this conversation throughout the year. And in case you're not part of the Thrive community, do join us on Thrive. You'll get to know details about our programs and which program is designed for you and which opportunity exists for you. There's resources that you can get access to immediately once you join through our newsletter. and also follow our socials. So if you're watching us on YouTube, you can subscribe. If you're on LinkedIn, you can like our page, on Facebook as well. Yeah, so this has been hopefully a short and sweet show. I have been your host, Naomi. Thank you so much for engaging us this year. I wish you all such a lovely evening and happy holidays. And before you go, here's a special message we have for you from the team at AMI.
Hello, Thrivers! Wishing you happy holiday. Merry Christmas!
Hey, it's Denzel from AMI marketing team, and I want to wish you all happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year.
Hello, Thrive community. My name is Harold Angila from AMI, and I want to take this chance to wish you a happy holiday. Thank you so much for allowing us to work with you and your business, and I wish you all a prosperous new year in 2022.
Hey, Thrive community, happy holidays. Wishing you the very best. May you refresh, may you be rejuvenated. Can't wait to see the amazing things that you're doing come the new year. All the best. Thank you for being part of us this year.
Happy holidays. Have a good one.
Hello, Thrivers. Can you believe it's the end of the year? I hope you can look back and celebrate your small wins, whether it's just great health, having your family and friends around you. And, I want to wish you the best for this holiday season. May you be surrounded by love, your favorite things, your loved ones. And may the new year be a symbol of just a fresh start. And I hope that it's going to be a great one for you.
Hello, Thrivers. I am hoping that you've all had a wonderful year. And as we gear to move on to the holiday season, I want to wish everyone a happy festive season filled with joy, family, laughter, and just more relaxation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Temba Ngomo, the program manager at the African Management Institute. I would like to take this opportunity to wish every one of you a happy festive season and a great ending to your year. All the best. See you soon.
Hi everyone, here Maurice Sarr from Senegal, regional representative of AMI for Francophone West Africa. So happy holidays to all our Thrivers. Bonne fête et bonne vacances à tout le monde.
Hi Thrive community, this is Kate. I'm a program manager with AMI. I'm here to wish you a happy holidays and a prosperous 2022 as we wind up the year and get into the holidays. I'd encourage you to just take a moment, reflect, and get to celebrate the wins that you've had for the year, big or small. I know it might have been a difficult year for some, so it's important to take a moment, pause, reflect, and appreciate what you've been able to achieve throughout the year. So happy holidays. Bye.
Hi everyone, Isabel here, sourcing and marketing manager at AMI Rwanda. Honestly, 2021 is ending. Who would have thought? And here we are. We have seen the Thrive community grow and grow, have cried and shared the joy of the Thrivers in our community, and entrepreneurs' amazing testimonials are the ones that keep us pushing for what we do. And honestly, I look forward for 2022, don't you? Thank you for being with us, and thank you for celebrating your wins and for thriving with the AMI. I couldn't be happier to be with you. Thank you and happy holidays.